There's been an angry reaction to a decision to make drivers pay more to use the Dartford Crossing. From September, people in cars will have to find an extra £1, taking that toll charge to £3.50. Ministers admit the news will be unwelcome, but say it's necessary to manage the traffic. It comes after the government allocated nearly £600 million towards a second crossing between Kent and Essex. Harry Lowe reports.
As more traffic flows through the crossing, soon more money will flow out of people's pockets. From September the 1st, tolls for car drivers without a local discount or prepaid accounts will rise 40% to £3.50. It'll be £4.20 for coaches, buses and some vans, and for lorries and other large vehicles, it's going up to £8.40. When the bridge was built in 1991, people were promised that the toll would be removed altogether when the cost of building it had been recouped. But it's been going up ever since. And although this is the first rise since 2014, it's not gone down well with local residents.
They just don't care. Cost of living has gone up so much. The least we should be dealing with at the moment is this increase. But unfortunately, nobody seems to care.
So it's bad news. It's in general, really. It doesn't help at all, I'm afraid. Not good news.
I don't think I personally would mind paying for the crossing if they did something about the traffic.
Dartford's MP, whose Labour government announced the changes, says he's not happy.
Well, it's very disappointing to see the rises. People in Dartford particularly regard the crossing as a source of congestion and poor air quality, so it sticks in the craw to see an increased charge for that facility. But I don't think it's appropriate during a cost of living crisis to see rises in living costs for Dartford residents, and I'll be making those points to ministers later.
News of the rise has not gone down well with local businesses, like Europa, whose lorries use the crossing to move freight around.
It's another blow. It's another blow to a British business, that's already faced a lot of challenges in the last couple of years. So an increase to our vehicle expenses and the costs of using the crossing, which we have to, it's essential. It's literally money that's going down the drain.
The government says the rise is needed to manage demand at Dartford, which handles up to 180,000 vehicles a day. And what about the human toll?
It affects our staff, it affects our drivers, it affects our services, our timelines, so everybody's feeling very frustrated about the increase.
But although the local resident discount remains, it's everyone else using this vital link who'll be counting the cost.
Well, the crossing has always been tolled and all construction costs have been paid back. In fact, in 1999, as Harry mentioned, the government did say the crossing would be free by the end of 2003. But in that year, it was announced that that £1 fee charged since 1991 would continue to reduce congestion and pay for other transport projects. In 2008, it went up to £1.50 and then again in 2012 to £2. In 2014, the toll booths were removed to allow a new payment system called the Dart charge, which we use now, of course, so drivers can pay online, by phone or by post. It was also the year when the charge last went up. Well, we can speak to Harry, who spent all day in Dartford for us today. Harry, hello. What more has the government had to say about this?
Well, the government says that since it removed those toll booths just about a decade ago, traffic levels have risen 7.5% here to unmanageable levels. And it's hoping that effectively by raising these charges, it's going to reduce the number of people who try and use it and reduce some of the tailbacks like we're seeing behind me tonight. They've also announced fresh funding for the Lower Thames crossing between Gravesend in Kent and Tilbury and Essex, and they're hoping that that will alleviate some of the pressure here at Dartford, although that project is many years away and far from certain to happen if it does. We've also heard today from the Conservative leader of Dartford Borough Council, who called this an insult to local people and a body blow. And then you've also heard from the Reform MP across the Thames, who described this as a joke and symptomatic of rip-off Britain. What is not known is whether when these charges go up in September, Dartford will become less of a bottleneck.
Harry, thank you.